Now, before we get to Richelle Ryan, and you're going to see that she's well enough known that TMZ Sports, and we'll go to that, Russell. So she walks out of probably her building in New York, but courtesy of TMZ Sports, Warner Brothers, here's Richelle talking about what else? Her beloved Giants, and she's going to join us in a couple of minutes here.
What do you think about the Giants this season so far?
You know, it feels more like we're 0-5 than 2-3, but we're going to bounce back.
You feel good? You feel confident in it?
I feel very confident. We got the Ravens next Sunday. We got this.
Well,
we're angry, too. And
the big news story is Odell Beckham. Everyone keeps talking about Odell Beckham. His tantrums. Is it problematic for the team? What are your thoughts on the whole Odell Beckham situation?
You know, he's a very emotional player.
And I believe we have her right now as she's talking on her screen. We go to the lovely Richelle Ryan. Thanks so much for joining us on rawmikерichards.com, Richelle.
Good morning.
We were just watching you on TMZ do these guys follow you a lot? Is this something that's common for you? Guys just
yeah.
Yeah, I bet. But you know what? You answered a very interesting question, Richelle, because people watch Odell Beckham and they think, what is the deal? Is it possible that this guy's off the rails? Are you a fan of Odell Beckham, even though he's on your very beloved New York Giants team?
I mean, how could you not love Odell Beckham? I mean, he's amazing, and there's so much talent in that kid. But you know what, though? He is smart. Like, everything that's going on now, Odell Beckham saying he wants to be the highest paid player in the league. He knows he's not going to be the highest paid player, but he knew what he was doing by saying that. Like, I think he's a lot smarter than people believe.
Now, Richelle, I have to tell you this, that my co-host and good friend Dave Bastel, who's sitting beside me, is a Jets fan.
Oh, gosh, I know. He already warned me.
Not really much of an argument this year between Jets and Giants, Richelle, because the Jets will be picking 1 or 2 overall next year's draft. But let's get more into the Giants thing, because I do actually have a futures bet on them to win the division. I think they might be a better club than the Cowboys this year, and I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you right now. I just love some of the additions. Brandon Marshall is a fantastic addition.
Gosh, me too.
Yeah, and Victor Cruz, he was a nice guy, but I'm sorry, he really wasn't cutting it for you guys. Where do you realistically see this Giants team doing this year as far as the season is concerned?
Gosh, I mean, I feel like it's a jinx if I put out a prediction before the season starts. That's why, it makes me nervous. But no, I definitely think, we could take over the NFC East. I mean, our defense, nobody can argue how amazing our defense was last year. It was incredible, yeah. And then adding Brandon Marshall and picking up our tight end, Rhett Ellison, Eli hasn't had a tight end, a Grunk style, and I honestly I don't even think Eli has had a
I don't think
really
maybe
solid tight end.
Maybe Mark Bavaro, but that was Phil Simms era, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely not Eli's. Definitely not Eli's. So, yeah, I'm excited for this season.
Now, Richelle, why a Giants fan? Where does this come from for you? Are you a New York born and raised girl?
I am. I am from, I always say Southern Canada because I'm from way upstate New York. And I don't know, my whole family was Giants fans, so I just kind of, followed suit. And, being from New York, sports was such a huge thing. I mean, it was like religion. Sundays, we'd all go to my grandmother's house. She'd cook dinner, and we would watch, football.
Well, and so people are probably watching this and listening to this podcast thinking, she knows football. She's talking about going to grandma's house. Yeah, do you know what she does for a living? People
Exactly.
And people go, they can't relate. But the fact is, the bottom line is, it's a business. So in some ways, I think a lot of people in your business, done properly, you're literally just an independent businesswoman. How would you describe it?
And you really are. I mean, I tell people all the time, I wear many hats. I mean, I do adult film work, I feature dance, I run and operate my website, I do promotions, and I live out here in Vegas, so I do promotions for Sapphires, the strip club that's out here. So, yeah, I'm a very busy gal, and then I'm hands-on. I run all my own social media, which sometimes I feel like that's a part-time job in itself.
That might be a full-time job. I mean, that's just a part of sort of what you have to do, for sure. It is, Richelle. You know, I'm curious then, if you've been in the business a certain amount of years, then those breaking into the business, do they kind of look at someone like yourself and go, okay, she's got her shit together. I want to be like what she is?
God, I hope not. God, I hope not. Jeez.
But you have I mean, this is a full-time, very busy business that you have, and I would think that, you know, some of the girls who and they're young, want to, you know, make the most money they can. They might want to look at something like what you're doing and how you're doing it.
You know, you would think they would, but you know, the industry has changed so much, and I see a lot of like the new girls that do come in the business, and they're extremely naive. They're not getting in for the right reasons, and yes, they want to make money, but they're just doing it the wrong ways. And you know, they're young. You know, they're kids. They're like, some of these girls are 18, 19, 20, and you know, we all were idiots at that age. So yeah, once they grow up a little bit, then they kind of like change, and hopefully we'll follow suit.
Richelle, okay, so you're a big football fan, but you come across as a sports fan, and I'm kind of curious, with Vegas getting that new National Hockey League team, the Golden Knights, are you looking forward to that kind of entering your city as well? Because it's basically the first major franchise to hit Las Vegas. I know the Raiders are going to be there in a couple of years, but
yeah.
How big of a deal are the Golden Knights right now with you being a Las Vegas native?
I mean, I love sports in general, but I mainly follow football. Like, football is my love. But I mean, I would go to a tennis match. I love any sporting activity, and I think it's amazing. It's putting Vegas on the map. Like, you know, you would never think Vegas being a sports city, but this is putting us on the map. And the Golden Knights, they're going to be a world recognized brand, because people are going to come here from, you know, from Canada, from China, from Montana, from all over, and they're going to be buying, you know, Vegas Golden Knights, like, you know, memorabilia, the T-shirts, the hats. They're going to be taking it home and wearing it. It's amazing, and you know, so I'm really excited. I mean, I don't really plan on following this sport that much, but I do see myself going to a few games.
Richelle, here's what I love: out of China, Canada, and Montana finished third. Montana finished third in that conversation.
I was trying to think of like random places. I was like the most random ones.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, it's funny. You know, when we sit there and you talk about the adult movie industry, there's not a guy not listening who not only has their favorite and probably has rented several movies. Now you don't even have to do that. Now you're clicking on it. In terms of its monies and the way that the business goes now, Richelle, is it better or worse? So if we're talking about maybe the 80s and all of a sudden everyone has VCRs and then you're buying, you know, DVDs and rental was a big part of it. Now that it's computerized and there's, you know, that much, I would guess that much more money, are the companies better or worse for it? How do you find the industry itself?
You know, it's kind of like, that's a tough question, because when I first got in the business in 2006, there was none of the free porn like tube sites.
Right.
So, I mean, and for a female, I mean, I was shooting 20, 30 times a month, you know, which is that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot, and you were making a lot of money, and that's all you were doing was shooting. I mean, I remember having to call my agent, and I was like, I need a day off. I have to go get my nails done. Like, I need a girl's day, you know. And then, kind of right around like 2009, a lot of the tube sites, you know, popped up, and it pretty much just killed the industry. Like, a lot of companies that I used to shoot for, a lot of them just went out of business. And you know, now it's kind of like, you know, those girls, you know, they may be shooting 5 to 10 times a month, you know, depending on, you know, what your availability and such was. I kind of like it now a little bit, because I like having my hands, you know, in a lot of different pots. So, you know, now it's like you get to go on the road and you get to feature dance, you get to meet your fans, and you get to run and operate your own website. You still can also shoot porn, but you could do so many other different things, which, I mean, I personally like, but, you know, not all girls in the industry feature dance. So that's probably hit their pocket a little bit, and they have to find other avenues to make that type of money that they were accustomed to making.
Is meeting fans a big part of sort of the industry? Because I always wondered if that was, something that the girls necessarily enjoyed, or was it sort of a necessity of maybe one of the production companies saying, you kind of got to get out there. What's your stance on fans?
I mean, I think it's all kind of like up to, the girl. I mean, we pretty much are our own bosses, unless you're a contract girl and then you have, you're working with a company and they're like, hey, you have to do the AVN shows, you have to do the Exotica shows. I'm like, my own brand is basically what I say. I personally enjoy meeting with fans as long as they're respectful. I mean, I have had a few times where, I'll have my family in town and I'm out with my mom and my brother, and I'll see them like coming towards me, and I just put my finger up. I'm like, you better think before you come up to me. Even though my family, they know what I do for a living, but it's kind of like, come on now, like I have my 13-year-old brother here, and like my mom and my dad, like, step back a little bit.
Yeah. Did you get that a lot? Do you get a lot of people recognizing you when you're out and about grocery shopping or any of your day-to-day stuff?
Yeah, which kind of surprises me because, running around, like running errands and stuff, like I don't wear any makeup. I mean, like sometimes I'll throw on a hat or something, or, it's crazy to me. And I'll get recognized, but it's like then when I'm all done up and I do have my makeup on, I don't get recognized as much. And it's crazy to me because obviously when I'm, everything that I'm pretty much putting out on social media and all my movies, I'm wearing makeup and my hair is done. So I had a funny story about, it'll be like a year and a half ago, I got a little French bulldog, and I take him with me on all my dance bookings. So I'm traveling through the airport, and like he wears a little Giants harness, and he has a little Giants dog collar that one of my fans bought me. And so I feel like if anybody was to see me, they would see my dog and immediately be like, oh, that's Richelle Ryan. So I'm walking through the airport. I think I landed in like Columbus, Ohio, and I see this pack of like young guys. That's kind of like, the age group that I attract. And I'm walking through the airport, and they're like, hey, that's Icon's mom. Like, they didn't even yell, like, that's Richelle Ryan. Like, they yelled out, that's Icon's mom. And I just, like, turned and looked and just had to laugh. And it was funny because, I just cracked up with it because, they definitely didn't yell, that's Richelle Ryan. They yelled, that's Icon's mom.
Well, our technical director, he's 19, Russell, also nicknamed Roast Beef Graham. He's so young looking. He'd be great in some of your movies, I think. My mom's so hot kind of stuff, and I can't believe this happened to me.
Oh, yes. This seems like that's all I shoot. And I'm like, I'm 32 and I'm a dog mom, but whatever works.
Well, hey, look, I always thought at some point, the way I looked at life, and I still do because I live in a fantasy world, that I thought when I was younger that Chasey Lane would be my wife. This is how I saw the world. So I was afraid to meet her, and I think some people must be intimidated. But you get proposals? Do you get the I love you so much? You must get some of that.
Oh yeah, I definitely do, and it's sweet, and I'll get the can I take you out to dinner when I come to Vegas and stuff, and I'm just like, I feature dance probably 2-3 weekends out of the month, so I'm like, catch me in a city near you, come to the club, and show your love that way.
So what's
I am not going out to dinner with you.
So what's the schedule look like, Richelle, in the next couple of months? Any Toronto dates coming up or anywhere close?
It's I want to go to Canada so bad because I get so many requests. The problem is it's hard for American girls to go into Canada, and there's ways around it and stuff, but the clubs would have to like print all your promo and stuff like once you got there. We couldn't travel with any of our merchandise or costumes, and it'd be too much more of a headache than I think what it would really be worth, which is just shame because, God, I would love to go to Canada.
It's funny looking at
mainly because I would fill a suitcase with ketchup chips.
It's what we're known for.
That's a good idea.
It's
a good idea.
I love ketchup chips.
Well, so does Russell too. So maybe the plot is he comes over to borrow ketchup chips from your kitchen. He's like the next door.
Yeah.
He mows your lawn or something, and next thing you know, broken.
I probably wouldn't be. He would probably have to bring me ketchup chips because I wouldn't be giving them up. They're so damn good.
Okay, guys.
They're so good.
Guys who need to loosen up on the Giants team by a visit to you or something that I think that doesn't Eli sometimes look like he just needs to, I don't know, lose his virginity or whatever's going on out there.
Stop it.
Doesn't he need to see you?
I love Eli. That's the captain of my squad. No. But yes, he does have that silly look on his face that drives me insane. But you know what's funny? It's like, Peyton, yes, he's retired, but Peyton would, he just seemed like the one where he would just be preparing and just, watching film. And, Eli just seems like he's just got, that dumb luck. Like, he could just go out on the field and just make it happen.
Richelle, it's been such a pleasure talking to you today. And people are like, well, what's that going to be like? What's it? Well, like a real person. Let's start with that. It's just people. They're people. And boy, what a doll you've been joining us and hearing about. Again, as people, there's a curiosity not only about what you do for a living. As you notice, Dave asked all football questions. I asked all porn questions.
Love that.
You see, that's just bad cop and worse cop, I think is what that was.
Yep.
But you know what? Thank you so much, and maybe sometime we'll catch up with you again. And you know what? We're thinking of going to Las Vegas too. If we go to Vegas, then because this obviously is on camera. It's a 3-shot camera show. If we do that and you're around, we'd love to have you on the show.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. No, definitely. Absolutely.
Well, you take care. Best of luck to your Giants. And if you want to say anything, parting shots to Dave, because it's not going to be good for Dave's team this year.
And to everybody out there, make sure you follow my social media at Richelle Ryan. Same as my Instagram, my Snapchat, just all under my name, Richelle Ryan, Richelle Ryan. We'll be doing lots of feature dancing. I'll actually be in Dallas the weekend of the opening Giants and Cowboys game, and I'll be in Tampa for that game, and Denver for the Broncos and Giants game. So I'm sure you guys will all see me at a game somewhere.
Well, hey, I was also curious too. Do people come up with because of the Seinfeld episode? The Richelle. Do you get that at all?
Yes.
Well,
it's mainly a lot of the club staff that does that to me.
Oh, I bet they do. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. It's
Thanks,
been
Richelle.
such a pleasure. You're just wonderful for joining us here on
Thank
RawMikeRichards.com.
you so much, you guys.
All right, you take care.
Thank you. Bye, you too.
That is Richelle Ryan joining us here this morning. Didn't realize the time in Vegas, which is awesome.
Early morning, yeah.
What? We just become best friends? Yep.